Audio sloppy. Is that a wild turkey I hear?
No, it's Shakira. Hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning into the Super Bowl episode of Gettin Cheezy with Van and Jeezy. I'm Van.
And I am Jeezy.
I want to knock out one thing before we get into the Super Bowl.
And what might that be?
That is Greg Olsen and the Panthers have mutually decided to part ways.
What? Is he retiring or is he's just done in Carolina?
He didn't really say. I've heard that he may go to Washington for a year to hang out with Ron Rivera.
Washington, D.C.?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he's looking for a punishment.
Yeah, he must be just... Yeah, he's been doing it for 13 years. He doesn't need to do anything more, but, you know.
Guess he's just going to keep on doing it. If he's going to Washington, he's doing it for the love of the game or the love of that coach.
It's got to be the love of that coach because that team does not inspire love of the game.
I don't know what it is. I would not... player, I'm not going there.
Well, no matter what happens, he has had a pretty illustrious career. Great guy. Good guy.
I mean, in the last couple of weeks, we've talked about now Greg Olsen and Luke Kuechly both gone.
Don't worry, Cam's going to be on the way out too. Don't worry.
I was going to say Cam has got to be almost done there.
And Ron Rivera's gone. Yeah, they're cleaning house, man.
It's a full-on fire sale over there in Carolina.
Everyone here is pretty okay with it too.
About Greg Olsen leaving?
Well, they don't like it, but they're okay with like the fire sale mentality right now.
They just want to jump ship. They just feel like they're not even close.
Yeah, might as well. Shit. No one down here likes Cam. Like two people down here like Cam.
I feel like when people decide, hey, we're in full-on rebuilding, they don't go to the playoffs for 10 years.
Look at the Browns.
I'm just saying, like...
They've been rebuilding for the past 20 years.
I'm just saying, like, a good team that makes some changes and keeps going, that tends to work. But these full-on, like, oh, we're a bad team and we're just going to go into full-on rebuilding.
Started from the bottom, now we're still at the bottom.
That's, yeah. They're going to be full-on eating turds. I don't like it. It doesn't feel right to me. I don't like it at all. What do you like, Van?
I'd like to go over how I got all four bets/picks right this week, and you only got one right.
Come on.
I was correct with the Chiefs.
Well, you know what they say. The sun shines on a dog's ass sometimes.
Yeah. Blind squirrel finds a nut every now and then. I always say you can't win them all, but you should win some. And here I am, winning some.
There you go.
I was correct in the Chiefs taking out the 49ers in the Super Bowl, 31-20.
I was wrong.
I was correct that Sammy Watkins would have no rushes.
I was wrong.
Let's see. I was correct, as you were, that Patrick Mahomes would have a touchdown in the first quarter.
And he ran it in, too. The less likely option.
And then I took the under of 54.5, and you took the over, which I was right and you were wrong.
But can I say, though, that I was...
Yes, you can say. Go ahead and say.
The way the game was going, they were going to do what I said, which is one team was going to be in the low 30s, and one team, who will not be named now, could not score no matter what they tried, no matter what they did. They were just blowing it.
Was it the 49ers?
Well, I'll tell you, I'll just put it this way. It was not the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay, so what was the other team? Who else was playing?
I can't discuss that at this time.
Was it that kid that ran out onto the field for the 100-year commercial?
I don't recall.
Are you testifying in court?
I don't recall.
Anyways, so like we said, I was right that the Chiefs were going to beat the 49ers. 31-20 is what happened. And Patrick Mahomes takes home the Super Bowl MVP. He becomes the second youngest quarterback in history to win the Super Bowl and the Super Bowl MVP. Andy Reid gets his first Super Bowl win in like 30 years.
Yeah. That phrasing is a little misleading. I mean, you make it sound like he won one 30 years ago.
No, he's never won one.
But he has never won one. Andy Reid, despite all of his trying and quite a bit of success in the playoffs, never got the big one, so to speak. But now he's got it.
Yeah, but good for him. On the opposite side of the ball, Kyle Shanahan is excellent at blowing leads.
I saw a statistic today that in the two Super Bowls he's been in, which I believe was Super Bowl 51 and Super Bowl 54.
Yep.
In the first, if you combine both games, he put up a combined 48 points through 3 quarters.
Yeah.
So that's a total of 6 quarters, which is pretty decent, pretty good. Should be enough to win some games.
I mean, 8 points a quarter is pretty good.
However, he put up, if you combine those 2 games, fourth quarters, 0 points. That is 0 points when he lost against the Patriots and 0 points when he lost against the Chiefs.
I don't think we need to remind anybody that was the 28-3 game.
He seems to be a brilliant coach, but I don't understand why he can't just close the deal.
Yeah, I don't have a good answer for that. So I do have one question, though, about the 49ers here. Now, it started out, obviously, they were up. They ended up being up. It went into half tied, 10-10. In the first half, I was not impressed. I was like, yep, this is a football game. That's about it.
Well, I actually thought the first half looked like the kind of game that the 49ers would win. They win these grinding games.
I mean, they should have been up by at least 3 at half if it wasn't for George Kittle extending the elbow there, locking his elbow out.
Yeah, that's true.
It was pass interference, but it was kind of a wimpy pass interference.
Yeah, I mean, George Kittle didn't need to do that to make that catch.
No. I thought the game was pretty well officiated, too, even though I don't really like Bill Vinovich. It was pretty well officiated. They didn't really have too much of an effect on the outcome of the game, which is nice.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty clean game. I thought they let them play. They kept it pretty fair and even on both sides. It was a fun game to watch too, I thought.
Now, if you would have asked me the MVP of the first half, by far and away Deebo Samuel.
Oh yeah, he was killing it.
He played awesome, I thought. But then, obviously Patrick Mahomes, he actually kind of played like shit until the last, the fourth quarter.
Yeah, but when you put up 21 points, tying the all-time fourth quarter scoring record.
I mean, he looked like shit through the first 3 quarters. He was off target. He was throwing balls in the dirt. Did not look good.
I just didn't understand how San Francisco blew that 10-point lead.
I don't understand.
I mean, we're talking about a team that's winning through 3.5 quarters.
I don't understand why they didn't run Raheem Mostert barely at all. He the guy that just got done for running 220 yards against us, decided, you know what? No. We'll go ahead with Tevin and Coleman instead. I didn't understand that one bit. Also, I loved watching Richard Sherman got fucking burned the entire game.
I mean, Kansas City's wide receivers are no joke. Tyreek Hill and Sammy Watkins, that is no joke.
I mean, Tyreek Hill on that 45-yard catch when he's so fast, he got open and kind of had to stand there and wait for the ball to fall out of the sky to catch it.
I read a stat, actually it's right here from CBS Sports. That throw,
yeah,
that 44-yard completion to Tyreek Hill on 3rd and 15 traveled 57.1 yards in the air.
Yeah.
That was nearly 60. I mean, that arc of that ball was nearly 60 yards long.
Kind of reminds me of Aaron Rodgers, the Motown Miracle like that,
That is crazy. I mean, if you multiply that for us mere mortals, 171.3 feet.
Okay.
That's a lot. That's a long ass ways to throw something.
Okay.
You don't seem impressed, fan.
I'm just trying to pull up how much further Aaron Rodgers threw it on the Miracle in Motown.
You're such a fucking hater.
No, I'm not a hater. I just think Aaron Rodgers is better than Patrick Mahomes. Anyways, it was really, really far. It was really far. But also, did you hear Sammy Watkins when he burned Richard Sherman on that one, I think it was a touchdown grab? It was either a touchdown grab or a really long catch. He burned Richard Sherman, and he said that he found that gap in Sherman's play by watching Devontae Adams the week before when Devontae Adams had burned Richard Sherman.
Oh, yeah.
That was kind of neat. But I don't know. The first half was, to me, was just like, okay. Second half was interesting, definitely entertaining. I was surprised that the tight ends didn't get involved more. 2 best tight ends in the league, by far the 2 best tight ends in the league, barely got used.
I mean, Kelsey and Kittle, that's true. That is a dynamic duo there.
Yeah, Kelsey finished up with actually 6 catches, 43 yards, and a touchdown. He caught every ball that went his way, though. 6 catches on 6 targets, so that's good for him. But Kittle ended up with 4 catches, 36 yards on 7 targets.
Oh, you know what other play? I don't think I've ever seen this. Did you see the play where they ran the Wildcat direct snap to Travis Kelce?
Yeah, they did. They did like the '60s boy band, like, and spin, like to Temptations, like little spin move and step out, like, you know what I'm talking about, little spin and then step slide out.
I'm not. They did that. They did 2 Wildcat plays, and I can't remember if the one to Kelce was that one or the one where they did to the running back. Williams was that one, but where they do the dance. But they definitely did a direct snap to Travis Kelce where he rushes for 2 yards and gets a first down, which was another that was a big play, actually.
So I also, like, I was watching that kind of stuff, and I'm like, when's the last time we ran, like, trick plays, like legitimate trick plays? Why don't we do this?
You're talking about the Packers?
Yes.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Also, I thought of this too. Bashad Breeland played an excellent game. I don't know why we got rid of him, too. We played an excellent game. There wasn't a money thing. He was cheap, but...
Is there anything else? What's your final comment on this game? What's your final... How will Super Bowl 54 be remembered?
It will be remembered with, Andy Reid getting his first Super Bowl win, and it will be remembered with Patrick Mahomes' fourth quarter heroics. What do you think?
I couldn't say anything better than that. The only thing I would add is that Damian Williams had a really big game, and he is perhaps the unsung hero of this victory.
Yeah.
17 carries, 104 yards, 1 rushing touchdown, 1 receiving touchdown.
Yep.
That's a very good stat line.
It was good. I thought he played well.
Anyway, sorry, San Francisco. Maybe next time. Congratulations, Kansas City, bringing it back to Missouri.
For the first time in 50 years.
50 years.
Since Super Bowl IV. So we got a text on the cheese line. We actually got 2 distinct people texting on the cheese line. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Both of you. This is Dirty Dan, obviously one of our all-time favorites. He asks, I guess, at the beginning of the season, on an episode, you guys discussed Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott getting paid this year. Zeke got his money, and Dak is still something up in the air, last I knew. Do you think he gets paid this offseason, especially in light of his lackluster performance this year? Go ahead, Jeezy.
That's a very good question. Was his season lackluster? Was Dak Prescott, did he have a lackluster? Can I take that for granted?
I mean, I would. I mean, Dirty Dan's a Cowboys fan, so he would know better than anybody.
I'm checking Pro Football Reference right here.
I love Pro Football Reference.
2019 summary. 65.1 completion percentage. 4,902 yards.
That's about right.
30 touchdowns.
That's a lot.
11 interceptions.
That's a little more than good, but that's not a bad year, I guess.
I think
it's situational stuff, though.
Situational stuff has been tough, but I look at somebody like Dak Prescott, and I compare him to a guy like Carson Wentz.
Mm-hmm. They're basically interchangeable, I think.
But Dak Prescott, he's been there. He's been dependable, reliable. He's been healthy.
That's the biggest thing, healthy.
I mean, Carson Wentz has been really good when he's been on the field, but seemingly he just, I feel bad for that guy. He's just always getting hurt. Dak Prescott has been the opposite. He's been on the field. He's been a leader. He's been working. He's continuing to develop. Although I can't be sure if he's plateauing or if he still has some more upside. That's the question mark for me.
Yeah, I get that. 'Cause he's got to be in his 5th year now.
The 2020 season will be his 5th year. This was the end of his 4th.
Yeah, so exactly. So he's, it's a make and break thing, it's a make or break thing, it's, we should be at the point now where we know enough about him to know what, if he's peaked or not. We should know by now.
I mean, they're bringing in a new coach this year. Is Mike McCarthy going to go back to the draft or look for some player to pick up in waivers? I
don't think so.
I don't think so either. I think they got to be getting ready to pay Prescott.
Well, and Mike McCarthy's the quarterback's coach. I've said it before. Hopefully he can get something out of him. And we talked about it. Scott Tolzien is going to be an assistant coach over there too. I don't know if he's going to be with the quarterbacks or anything, but not that Scott Tolzien was an excellent quarterback or anything, but I got to place my heart for him.
I mean, you got to remember, Dak Prescott's still fairly young, 26 years old and 189 days.
Yeah, but I was doing that shit then.
What?
I could probably play better than him at that age. That's a complete falsehood. That's not even close.
Let me just give you his, basic build stats. 6'2", 238 pounds. Not dad bod.
I mean, I'm pretty close on that. I'm getting closer to the 238.
I can do that.
I'm not the 6'2", but I'm getting close to the 238. You know it. Anyways, to answer Dirty Dan's question, I don't know. I think I think he will get paid because that's the trend of the NFL right now. But I think he'll get too high of a number for what he has commanded.
I think Dak gets paid without a doubt, and if it's not by Dallas, it's by somebody else. I think Dallas would be.
Oh shit! Check this. What if Dak goes to Carolina?
I mean, it could be anywhere as far as I'm concerned. I think Dak will be top 3 salary in the league, if not number 1. I can't think of anybody else who's got to get.
No, the fuck he won't. Come on.
Guaranteed top 3.
Write it down. Put it in the notes right now. Write it down. Guaranteed top 3. I'm not forgetting this.
I'm putting it right under the in the top header section.
Oh no, I'm gonna move it to the future topics section so we don't forget about it. Don't worry.
Okay.
It's just not going anywhere. Can't pull one over on me.
I think at the time of his signing, Dak will have among the top 3 salaries in the league.
It's okay that you're wrong, but I still love you.
I'm not saying he's top 3 most valuable, but as far as people who need to get signed, there is a strong correlation that the longer they wait to sign, the higher the price goes up, and there's a premium on quarterback talent in this league.
But you still have to be worth it. You can't just be like, yeah, I'm worth this much, and everybody goes, okay.
I thought the same thing until I saw Carson Wentz and Jared Goff get signed for crazy amounts of dollars.
How'd that work out for them?
I'm not talking about the efficacy. I'm talking about the trend.
Well, I mean, yeah, the trend is to be giving out stupid, ridiculous contracts that blow up in people's faces. That's why, we don't do that shit, right? Good teams. I read this today on the Packers website, like I like to do. Good teams.
I like to read the Packers website.
I do. Good teams. Good teams take care of their cap. They're smart with their checkbook.
Yeah, I mean that's what you got to do.
So, we get rid of players that we know are going to be too expensive because we have to. It's about money. And then you got teams like the Cowboys who are going to throw all this money at 3 players, Amari Cooper, Zeke, and Dak, and have nothing to give for everybody else. So you got 3 superstars and then 49 other jokers who aren't going to make a team.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you gotta have a line on both sides of the ball. That is the most critical thing.
Well, fine.
And we'll see. We'll see if they can pull that off. If they can pull that off with what they have left in their checkbook, that'll make or break those superstars.
Cheese it.
Okay. And now I'm cheesing my way back to you, Van, with a burning cheese inside.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Packers section.
Sure is. We don't have much this week, except for, we got a text in the cheese line from my buddy Tim, which I'll hit that in just 1 second here. I want to run through a couple of coaching changes here. We've parted ways with our wide receivers coach, Alvis Whitted. He's a good guy, it seemed like. He did pretty well. Came to Green Bay. He played wide receiver for 9 seasons. Joined the Packers last year. Okay, last year he joined us. So, we'll see what happens with that. I mean, I understand why. Our receiving core behind Devontae Adams didn't really live up to expectations. But anyways, more importantly, we have hired a new defensive backs coach, Jerry Gray, coming over from the Vikings. He's replacing Jason Simmons, who left Green Bay to join the defensive staff with the Panthers. So, some things to know about this is from the Packers.com website. Some things to know about Jerry Gray. Green Bay is his seventh team he'll be coaching for. Sorry. Green Bay is the sixth different team he'll be coaching for. He started coaching with Tennessee in '97. Moved to went to Buffalo for a while, Washington for a while, Seattle, back to Tennessee, Minnesota, and then here. He's coached two of the best DBs in the league with the Vikings. So he obviously coached Harrison Smith and Xavier Rhodes.
Harrison Smith's been very good, but Xavier Rhodes, I'm not sure if I'll give him that. He's been streaky. He has been good at times.
They were both first-round draft picks, both named to the first team All-Pro in 2017, and combined for 8 Pro Bowl selections with Gray as their coach. So,
fine.
Jerry Gray was also a first-round pick and a Pro Bowl defensive back himself, 21st overall in 1985 by the Rams. Only missed 10 total games in the 9 years he played with the Rams, Oilers, and Buccaneers. 134 games, 103 starts, 4 straight Pro Bowls from 86 to 89. 28 picks in his career. Got a Pro Bowl MVP award when he returned a pick for a touchdown. So good for him.
Yeah, those are all good things. Nice accolades for the new coach.
Inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame in 2013. He was a 2-time consensus first-team All-American, 2-time Southwest Conference Defensive Player of the Year at Texas. So, neat. And also, he scored a touchdown against the Packers at Lambeau Field. He had 3 pick sixes in his NFL career, and one of them came in the 1988 season opener when the Rams beat the Packers 34-7 at Lambeau Field in Lindy Infanti's Green Bay coaching debut.
Can I just say, though, in the picture at the top of this article, he's wearing his Vikings swag, and the Vikings coach t-shirt is based on the Survivor thing, which is outlast, outplay, outwit, I believe, for Survivor.
This is outwork, outrun, outhit.
I saw that and I was like, wait a minute, Viking swag. You're not going to pull the fleece over my eyes.
I wouldn't have known that. Do you watch Survivor? I don't watch Survivor.
Oh, shit. Mrs. Jeezy watches Survivor, so indirectly, directly, I'm forced to sometimes watch it.
You like it.
It has its moments, honestly.
I've never seen an episode. Not one single episode.
You've never seen a single episode of Survivor?
No.
You're un-American.
I'm a survivor. I'm not gonna give up. Na 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 na.
All right, you're cut off.
Cool. Choose line text from our buddy Tim. He texted in a couple weeks ago. Thanks, Tim, for texting in.
Thanks, Tim.
He's got a couple of questions here. Is asking. I'll start with this one because it's easier to answer, I think. Do you think the Packers were an 8-8 team that got a few breaks, or were they that good? He says, I feel like as a Packers fan, I was just happy they were there. I never felt like they deserved to be there. Before you go first, I'll go pre-first.
Pre-first?
And I'll say, I will never apologize for winning games.
I will say that when I looked at this season, I felt like about half of the games were games that we should win or lose. And the other half were going to be competitive games that were going to be determined by...
Listen here, Booger. Half of the games were games we should either win or lose.
Let me pull up the fucking schedule. Is that what you want?
I got you, Booger.
What I'm saying is, about 4 of the games I thought we'd win, about 4 of them we'd lose, and then the other half would be competitive games. The other half of the season.
Sure.
That's what I was trying to say before I was so fucking rudely interrupted.
You just got boogered and you're mad about it.
Let's see. Let's look at the schedule if you want to be this way. I'll just pull up the old...
I'm not being any kind of way.
You're being that kind of way.
You boogered me like last week.
I know, but you were boogering. You needed to be boogered.
You just boogered. Oh my goodness. I'm about to call Merriam-Webster and get boogered in there as a verb.
It really should be one. But, like, basically...
Games we should either win or lose.
I mean, really, really the NFC North division was, to me, the question mark. If we could go into our own division and win those games with teams that I felt were going to be competitive, with the Bears being the defending NFC North champion last year, with the Lions, I thought potentially building on a lot of things with Matty Patty there. I really felt like the NFC North division was where we were going to shape our destiny, and we got a.
Did you call him Matty Patty?
Matthew Patricia, would you prefer that?
That's his name.
Matty Patty being in there, and that's where I really felt like we had. Those are 6 games that I felt like could go any way. That's how it's been for as long as I remember.
That's just divisional games. Divisional games are always hard.
They're always hard, and I feel like it comes down to which team has been better coached and has better strategized, has the better strategy to make the win, because it's always tough, it's always competitive, it's always innovating on the things against teams that know you well.
Yeah, you always need to win by scoring more points.
What I'm saying here is that we were well coached in these games, and that's what made us a 13-3 team.
14. Sorry, technically we're 14-4.
Yeah. So that's what made us that team. It was coming in and winning those games in the NFC North.
I don't know. I kind of think it was more than that, right? So to succinctly answer the question, were we just an 8-8 team that caught a few breaks? I think that's a little bit, to me, an oxymoron, just because good teams find a way to win anyway.
I'm just saying, hold on. Before I let you go on, let me just remind you of some of the teams we played outside of our division.
Okay.
The Eagles, fine. The Broncos, boo. The Cowboys, okay, fine. The Raiders, boo. The Chargers, who we lost to, by the way, really still kind of shitty anyway. The Panthers, the 49ers, who were good. The Giants, what the fuck? The Redskins, again, what the fuck? The teams we played outside of our division were not that good.
Now you know what it's like to be a Patriots fan. Fucking shooing games every year. Anyways, what I'll say is the hallmark to me of a good team is finding a way to win anyway. I will say we weren't the most talented team by far. We were far and away not the best team. To take a phrase from Jeezy, we never played to the sum of our parts, which was disappointing because I really would have liked to have seen this team play a complete game in all 3 phases, and we never did.
I thought our defense especially could have been much better. And the offense, I think, is just, it's premature for me to call it. But I feel like that defense had been together under Mike Pettin.
I mean, it was only the second year in the scheme.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just got to start clicking sometime.
I mean, we're there. I mean, I think, it's 2 years is, even 1 year. Here's what's going to happen. I'm already anticipating it. People are going to be upset we don't win the Super Bowl next year, which, obviously there's a certain level of being upset because you don't win it every year. But being a 13-3 team, people are going to have higher expectations for next year, forgetting the fact that it was a first year in a brand new system with a first-year head coach. To me, success next year is defined by cleaning up a lot of these things we're talking about now, about having a complete game, on all 3 phases of the ball. I think we'll probably have a worse record, but I think we'll be a better overall team. So to succinctly answer the question, I think we were better than an 8-8 team that caught a couple lucky breaks. I think we were a 13-3 team. It's hard to win 13 games in the National Football League. We stayed healthy. We found different ways to win every week. When the offense was dragging ass, the defense stepped it up. When the defense was dragging ass, the offense stepped it up. When the run game sucked, the pass game was good. When the pass game was good, the run game was, the problem was we couldn't ever put it all together for a complete game.
Yeah, and that's what stopped us from being able to beat the elite teams.
Now, watching that Kansas City game, obviously we beat them when they had Matt Moore as quarterback instead of Patrick Mahomes when he had that knee injury. But watching the 49ers and the Chiefs play, we got a good amount of work to do to get to that point, to get to that level, I think. I think the talent is there for the most part, but we're not obviously there.
Right, I agree with that. I think we were a winning record team, no matter how you slice it. and how we handled our divisional rivals is what made us a 13-3 team.
I mean, because look at it too. We lost, one play to the Eagles. We could have been a 14-2 team. We could have been the number one seed in the NFL or in the NFC.
Yeah.
I don't know. I won't apologize for 13 wins, unless we're not cheaters. I would apologize if we were cheaters, but we're not cheaters. We won 13 games fair and square. This is what it is. So it's just unfortunate. It feels worse than that because we never played a complete game. Now, the second question Tim had here, he's asking about what are the biggest needs for the Packers this offseason. He's asking about wide receiver, linebacker, or defensive coordinator. Well, now defensive coordinator's already locked in. We're sticking with Mike Pettin this year.
But do you think that was wise?
I think it's wise to give it more than 2 years in a system. I talk about this all the time. You can't have a coaching carousel like this because you end up like the Browns. You end up in the cesspool of the NFL for 20 years. You have to stick with guys. You have to be loyal to your coaches and give them a chance, give them an honest chance. Now, we hung on to Dom Capers way the fuck too long.
Yeah, I was done with Dom Capers way before we got rid of him.
We held on to, don't forget this name, Ron Zook for way the fuck too long.
Way too long. He should have never been in there, honestly.
But, I don't think you can really ditch on coaches that fast because you end up like the Browns. So, in terms of our, biggest needs this offseason, I'll say first and foremost is re-signing our own free agents. That's one of the bigger ones. But
I mean, I just keep looking and thinking we've got a lot of linebackers that are going to be free agents.
But we're going to bring some back. People used to always get upset at the Packers because we wouldn't make any splashes in free agency. But people forget that signing your own free agent is a free agent move. Now, I don't think Blake Martinez is going to be around. But, in terms of the biggest need for the team right now, I got to go with either – oh, boy. I got to go with either, a good middle linebacker. If I'm going to go out and get somebody, I'm going to get either a good middle linebacker or I'm going to get a 1A wide receiver to Devontae Adams number 1.
For me, linebacker is the biggest. I feel like it's the one piece on our defense that's stopping it from being elite. We've got a very I feel very confident with Kenny Clark and the Smiths up there that our defensive line is going to cause pressure. I feel like we've got nobody who's a real slouch as far as defensive backs go. But in the center of the field there, the linebackers, to me, that's what keeps me feeling a little bit uneasy about our defense. And I think of those things you've mentioned, that's the big thing. I feel fine. I mean, our wide receivers aren't the best. I mean, excluding Devontae Adams, who is an all-star. He's earned it. He's proved it. He keeps working hard. The rest of our receiving core is, there's a lot of upside to the players we have there already. I think they'll do better even if we don't go out and get anybody else.
Yeah, that's why I put it at number 2. But when your offense is very clearly either going to be the ball going to Aaron Jones or Devontae Adams, Devontae Adams was the target on 25% of the passes this year.
Look, I think a player like Alan Lazard coming up, I think a better integration, or maybe integration is not the right word, but better utilization of our tight ends.
Yeah. Yep.
I think we can, I think we have the talent there. It's just doing it now.
Yeah.
But linebacker, I've not felt confident at all at any time this year.
I agree with that.
It's the gossip section.
So we're going to talk about the Super Bowl halftime show and commercials. First thing I want to mention is that Antonio Brown no longer has to wear his GPS monitor.
Yay!
You can imagine what that's all about. I'm not going to get into it. Super Bowl commercials and halftime. Let's go with the halftime show first.
Okay, go ahead.
I want to say a lot of the posts that I've seen, but I want my job still. So
I'll tell you the general sentiment about the halftime show from my living room. We had a few friends over, made some tacos, or hanging out. Shakira comes out, and I'm like, wow, that's a lot of lower body exposed there. There's something. I mean, I hope we're not looking at a wardrobe malfunction downstairs.
I thought the same thing.
And then J-Lo comes out, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm not...
It's even less.
It's even less. I'm like, there is a serious possibility that there could be a wardrobe malfunction downstairs. There is...
Or upstairs.
Or upstairs. You are absolutely right about that. But the downstairs, that was the murmurs in our rooms. Man, there is a lot of...
There's about to be a hoo-ha.
There's about to be all kinds of... There's going to be all kinds of lady parts potentially exposed here. Yeah, because, I mean, boobs being on TV, that's one thing.
It's going to be Janet Jackson times 1,000. That's way more fine than a hoo-ha.
Anyway, that was my reaction to the halftime show. That was the general sentiment in our living room.
Just that...
For all of you out there, Van sometimes forgets that this is a podcast. You cannot see him. He is talking about Shakira's little clip where she comes out stark raving mad and does some kind of tongue rolly turkey yodeling.
I'm about to take that YouTube clip and go during hunting season in April for turkey season. I'm gonna put this YouTube clip on my phone and just hold it over my head.
Why do you? Yeah, that was it. That was it.
Do you want to hear it?
Why? Oh, jeez.
If we were fancy enough to have a soundbite board, that would be one of our sound bites. I mean, J-Lo comes out with a stripper pole. She was also like very suggestively around her crotch area. A lot of people were like, I sent my kids out of the room during that halftime show. I mean, Miss Van was loving it. She was like she was getting it.
I have no idea what that was. I don't know if that was a sound of pleasure or joy or of anger and unrest.
It was that song, the wolf song. That wolf song that goes,
Oh, the Shakira song.
Yeah. Also, Shakira's 43 and J-Lo is 50. And you see them dancing? I'm in severe pain in my shoulder/neck area because I slept funny. I'm not kidding, dude. When I'm trying to change lanes, looking over my shoulder, I'm like, you guys can't see it, but I'm like, to the point where it's dangerous. It's more dangerous for me to check my blind spot than it is to just fucking go.
What you need to do, Van, is get a mirror on a selfie stick.
Seriously, it's just... it's more dangerous for me to do that than it is just to say, fuck it, and just go.
Jesus, take the wheel.
But, yeah, I mean, I was fine with it. I saw someone posted when J-Lo came out on that pole and it's like spinning in circles. Someone was like, "This how my pizza rolls look like in the microwave." Or this one's for Dirty Dan. Someone was like, Shakira looked like when Patrick and SpongeBob find the magic conch shell. You mean like this?
Yeah, that one was pretty funny.
I was hating on basically the entire production for a long time, and I think it's like the entire Super Bowl commercials, the whole festival. I was hating on it the entire time. I think it's because how salty the Packers weren't in it. But the commercials, I thought weren't that good this year. Like, I thought the Jason Momoa one was pretty good.
Okay.
When he's taking off his muscles.
That was pretty funny. But you know what? Honestly, when it comes down to it, Google's Loretta commercial, I was sitting there. I rewatched it today in my office, and I was there just like slow crying. Just like little tiny streams.
Oh, of course you were. Of course you were.
I'm sorry, Loretta, wherever you are, may you rest well.
Speaking of feeling grabs, like people just like a straight up ploy at like, I'm gonna attack people's feelings. Baby Nut. Baby Nut was in direct response to Baby Yoda. People are like, I guarantee Planters was like, listen, check this shit out. I'm gonna make something even cuter than Baby Yoda. People are gonna lose their minds.
But Mr. Peanut died.
Also, what the fuck?
Mr. Peanut died.
Right? I saw that on Facebook or something a couple weeks ago, and I was like, how the fuck you kill Mr. Peanut? Like, what is the point of this? That's a little bit like, that's like super morbid. Like,
I thought the same thing. I was like, why couldn't Mr. Peanut meet a Mrs. Peanut and have a baby Peanut?
Why does he gotta fucking die? And they're at his funeral.
I was like,
there's a mound of dirt, dude. It's not even like.
I was like, why didn't they just have you could have had a baby Peanut, but no, we have to go through the full circle of life.
I don't understand. Like, why? Like, what was the point? Like, couldn't you just be like, yeah, this Mr. Peanut's going on vacation for, like, that lie that you tell your kids when their hamster dies? Also, the Post Malone one was pretty funny, too.
The best one was the Mountain Dew Zero Sugar. Did you see that one? Bryan Cranston, he's redoing the iconic scene from The Shining, and he's chasing down somebody he's got a Mountain Dew Zero Sugar, and he takes out an axe, and he's chopping through the door, pokes his head through the panel, and instead of saying, "Here's Johnny," he goes for, "Here's your Mountain Dew Zero Sugar," and hands it through, and the woman inside is like, "Oh, I was kind of thirsty anyway." And then it cuts to two Bryan Cranston little girls, twin girls in the powder blue dresses.
Now, and the Mountain Dew cascading down the halls of the hotel, which yeah. I can confirm that is life in the South. Miss Van wakes up and drinks Dew like every day.
Are you serious?
She says, it's Diet Mountain Dew.
Does she? You better get her like 3 toothbrushes. She needs to triple brush those teeth.
I also thought, okay, maybe they were a little bit better than I thought they were, but the Anthony Anderson one with his mom testing 5G.
That one was good. I like that one.
That one, what did he say that was super funny when he was like, she answered the phone, or she was talking on the phone in the movie theater, and they were like, shh, and she's like, she basically was like, man, shut up, it's my boy. Like, and she calls him at like the middle of the night, and he picks up, and she's like, it works at the club too. And he's like, what club are you at, mama? Like,
yeah, that was a good one.
But I think my favorite, the Jason Momoa one was still really good. Get home from work, takes off his boots and gets like 5 inches shorter. Takes off his muscles, takes off his hair, takes off his abs, starts playing a sitar.
Yeah, that was good. Oh, man. The Super Bowl, this was quite a good time.
What's your assessment on it? Like, what is this, in the past 10 years, where does this rank for you? I'll say, okay, past 5 years.
This was a high for me, I thought. This was... And I don't know if it's just because last year seemed so bleak.
It was awful. Blech.
And actually, I thought last year's commercials were so horrible. Like, there was a weird thing. You know, it was an inflection point, I think, in American history. And, you know, I thought everyone played very safe on the commercials. And people were starting to have a little bit more fun this year, I think.
Yeah.
And we saw that in the commercials, and as far as the football goes, it was a good football game. It was 2 teams that deserved to be there, unlike the Rams, who basically cheated out the New Orleans Saints, and the Patriots, who just get easy fucking seasons every season for the last decade.
Yeah,
this was 2 teams that really belonged there. You know, with the exception of Baltimore, I would say, you know, the 2 teams that were there were definitely the best teams. I would throw Baltimore maybe in that. It was excellent. I thought it was really, really good. It was a fun time. It was that cultural phenomenon that we expect it to be.
Do 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 do. Phenomenon. Do 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 do. Phenomenon. Do 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 do. Phenomenon, dude.
What about you? How'd you feel about it?
I was just let down by the first half, honestly. That was not let down. I wasn't let down. The first half, I was like, yep, this is a football game.
The first half was the perfect kind of half for drinking.
Mm-hmm. You know what we did? We sat on the sectional, blanket on each one of us, eating dip and chips, and just being fucking bums. It was very nice.
That sounds pretty good. We had a few people over. Made tacos, street-style tacos.
Nice. Walking tacos?
No, just like, you know, like greasy ground beef, with all the different ingredients in separate pots and not pre-made, but individually, like grilling every tortilla.
Sure.
It was good. Anyway, now it's time to go on to the primetime pick section. And as we close out this 2019-2020 season, I've got just 2 picks. One is for my co-host here, Van. I pick you over and over again to make me the happiest co-host of all time.
Aww.
And the second pick goes out to all of our, I would call them fans, but they're more like friends out there in the podcast universe.
Yes, all of our fan.
All of our friend that listen to this show.
Thanks, fan.
Thanks, friend.
I had to echo that. I would like to thank my beautiful, stunning co-host, Jeezy. Also our fans and friends, and our significant others for putting up with us doing this shit. Having the house on silent for a couple hours every Monday. Also, being slightly absent from the relationship every other week while we're editing.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Anyways, we're going to have a year in review episode next week, I think.
First I've heard of it.
And then we're going to call it a break for a little while.
If I'm just going to throw out shit that I've
oh, here we go.
been thinking about but didn't tell you about, I think what we're going to do is we're going to spend our Mondays that we don't record trying to make the show better, learning and building it up.
You're full of shit. You told me that already.
All right.
You're just trying to look hard for our fan.
Our friend?
Yeah, you're trying to act all hard. You already told me that shit. Don't be like you're trying to pull one over on me.
All right, you're right.
Don't be flexing on me over there either. I see that.
Well, thanks everybody for a wonderful 2019-2020 season. Apparently we're doing a year in review next year, so we'll maybe have even more time to get sentimental, but a heartfelt thanks from me, Jeezy.
And from me, Van.
You've been listening to Gettin Cheezy with Van and Jeezy.
I am Van once again.
And I'm still Jeezy.
And, we'll just say it again. We're everywhere and anywhere, basically.
If you're hearing us now, you know how to get us.
That's true. That's a very... Booger, that was great. Great job, Boog.
All right, y'all. Much love. Catch you next time.
Okay, love you. Bye.